Hello everyone. This is a lecture on plate tectonic theory by Aritra Chakravarti, MSc Applied Geology. So, inside the earth there are layers which can be divided in two kinds: compositional layers and mechanical layers. Compositional layers can be divided into crust, mantle and core, as you can see in this picture. And mechanical layer can be divided into lithosphere, asthenosphere, mesosphere, outer core, inner core. History of plate tectonic. So, in early 1900, Alfred Wegener noticed that the coastline of some continents look like they would fit together, like a jigsaw puzzle. He believed that 200 million years ago, continents were joined together in one big continent. So this big continent was called Pangaea. All the continents were joined together. Then the continents split, and through millions of years made our world look like today. And this continent splitting happens due to plate tectonics. What is plate tectonic theory? Oh, sorry, the PPT is not complete. Okay. Few natural discoveries in 20th century helped to establish his idea. As always, when he delivered his idea, none of the scientists believed in him. 1950 scientists discovered heated magma rising up through cracks of oceanic crust through dikes. Scientists started plotting the locations of earthquakes and volcanoes of the world, and it showed a similar pattern to what Wegener showed in his map of plate tectonic. And third evidence is the fossil evidence. Fossil found in Africa and fossil found in eastern part of South America and fossil found in western part of Africa. Both were mostly same. So after these evidences, the modern day plate tectonic theory was born. Harry Hammond Hess proposed the sea-floor spreading theory, who was also one of the founding fathers of the unifying theory of plate tectonics. According to theory, Earth is composed of lithospheric plates floating on asthenosphere. Mechanical layer: lithosphere, composed of crust and upper part of the upper mantle. It is more or less 100 km thick. Asthenosphere, composed of highly viscous, mechanical, weak, ductile region of the upper mantle at depth nearly 80 and 200 km below the surface. Lithospheric plates floats on the asthenosphere, and the portion between two plates are called boundaries. There are three kinds of boundaries. One is compressive boundary, and second is divergent plate boundary, and third is transformed plate boundary. Lithospheric plates can also be divided into two kinds: continental plates and oceanic plates. Continental plates made up of felsic rocks, granite, its abundant silica, aluminium, sodium, potassium, and it is thick and less dense than oceanic plate. Oceanic plate made up of mafic, Fe magnesium mineral, basaltic rock. It's thinner and denser. Three types of plate tectonic boundaries, as I said: convergent plate boundary, transformed plate boundary, and divergent plate boundary. Divergent plate boundary is that plate boundary where two plates go away from each other. The mid-Atlantic ridge is an example of this. Plates are moving away from one another. Divergent plate boundary. Volcanism occurs. It also makes new seafloor. Earth plates are sliding past each other in opposite direction. This is called transformed plate boundary, just like San Andreas fault. Transformed boundary creates faults and earthquakes. Convergent boundaries. Convergent boundaries is where two plates are coming together. Himalaya is an example. Rock above boundary will be lifted up and folded. It creates mountains like Himalayas. Ring of fire around the specific in an example of convergent plate boundary. The more dense basaltic plate dives under the less dense plate, subduction zone, in the convergent plate boundary. This is subduction zone and this is volcanism, which creates island arcs. Volcanoes and mountains form as a result of convergent boundaries colliding. Earthquakes and transmissions occur at convergent and transfer boundaries. Fissures, cracks, and rifts in the surface occur at divergent boundaries. Sea floor spreading occurs at divergent boundaries on the ocean floor. Boundaries are where plate meets. Three types of plate boundaries are convergent, where plates collide, transform, where plates slide past one another, divergent, where plates move apart. This is the rock cycle. As we can see, in the convergent boundary, metamorphism happens, and here in the right, igneous activities occur, and here also volcanism, igneous rock occurs. The right portion is sedimentology. Sediment. Reference Google. Thank you.